Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Oh man, 2024. Carrying that big 2024 energy.
When do we stop celebrating that? It's February?
Yeah, like February 10th. The
Okay.
hard stop right there. February
All right, I'll write
11th,
it down.
get right out of town with that.
Right.
February
And
10th,
it's
it's
just what-
still appropriate.
11th, we're thinking about 2025.
Yeah,
We're
looking
on to
ahead,
new
man.
things.
We're looking ahead to the future. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're on an episode of Hypecast.
Hypecast.
It's the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
And hey, I'm Alex Schmidt. I'm so happy to be here, guys.
Hey, we're so happy you're here, Alex Schmidt.
Happy 2024. Happy 20 Fun Galore. Happy all of it.
And a merry 2024 to you as well.
Yes. Thank you so much for being on, Alex.
Yeah.
How you doing? What's up? What's new?
I'm good. Yeah. I was just telling Dave before we started taping, I got to go on a very lucky, very brief trip to Rome, Italy, because my wife had like work stuff there and I could do a little companion kind of thing. And so I got to briefly see Katie Golden in Italy and just like see Italy for the first time ever. It was great.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You see that Colosseum?
Yeah.
I did. It's like, it's really interesting. The Coliseum sort of feels normal because almost every stadium ever has copied it. So, but it's also incredible. Yeah, it's really cool.
Right. It's just kind of a shittier stadium, right?
Right,
Like they
yeah.
got to fix it up. They
Yeah.
haven't fixed
It
it
just
up.
kind of looks like where the Steelers play.
Yeah, apparently it's seated 70,000 people, and so
Damn.
That's
it's
pretty-
just kind of an NFL stadium.
Yeah, that's like a
But
solid
they did it
WrestleMania or like a
early.
solid pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh well. If the WWE could book that, they would. I'm sure they
Oh
would.
my God.
Oh,
immediately.
you know
And
he's,
they would-
you
they
know
would
he's
make a
tried.
ton
You
of
know
money,
he's
yeah.
tried.
He should promise that if they let him use it, they will execute a wrestler, like for fun, like as a stunt. I don't want them to do that, but that's like the wild deal you probably have to offer.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
an extremely Vince McMahon thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vince would be fine with that.
Yeah, so
deal.
I'm sure that offer's
Right.
been on the table before.
It's inhuman.
Yeah.
And he's like, great.
wrestler on live television.
Oh,
But yeah, it's
Make
great to
it
see you
happen.
guys, man. This is very good.
Yeah, you as well.
good to
yeah.
see you too. Thank you. Do you want to, at the start of this, you want to plug anything? You want to tell people about where they could find you, your work, what you've been up to professionally, perhaps?
Yeah, I hope people check out Secretly Incredibly Fascinating. It's a podcast I make with my co-host Katie Golden, and we're on Maximum Fun now. And then I've also been just making little videos for TikTok and for Reels. Are the two platforms. Reels is like that
Yeah.
Instagram thing. So Alex Schmidtstagram on Instagram and Alex Schmitty on TikTok. It's been fun.
I didn't know Schmidtstagram. That's great.
Instagram, that's pretty awesome. I thought you were saying for reals, like for realsies. Like
What is for
like no
realsies?
fooling. I'm really making these videos.
I mean, it's that too. It's that too.
I should start saying that. That's good. That's more hyped up than what I usually say. Yeah.
This may seem like a big gag, but I assure you, I'm making these videos.
Yeah.
That's
everybody
awesome.
check that out.
Yeah.
Check that out. Why don't you?
You need to find another condiment so we can come back on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did all of them.
I think
right?
we did all, right?
of the
We probably
condiments.
did all of them.
Yeah.
I'm really hesitant to say this because maybe it'll make you self-conscious, and I don't think people can see it, but Tom is wearing a red shirt and Dave is wearing a yellow shirt, and it has now a ketchup and mustard vibe in my head.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
We've often
We
been
planned
described
it.
as such.
Although I don't know why I feel like I'm the ketchup and you're the mustard.
I do.
Does that make
I am
sense, Tom?
spicier, I think.
I think so.
I feel spicier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also should say the episode we did about Worcestershire sauce has like changed the way I eat. I have it around all the time now, and I do the thing Dave. I think Dave gave as a tip, which is you can take a little swig straight from the bottle when you're like doing other
Hell
cooking
yeah.
stuff. It's really fun. It's great. Yeah,
All right. I'm so glad you do that. Yeah, it's great.
I love
It
it.
really kicks that gag reflex a little bit. I love it. It makes you feel alive.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like
It's like
skydiving.
racing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a person. It's great. Yeah.
It really is. Everybody do that. Everybody drink Worcester sauce. Or I'll sometimes do like I mean, I do this for my stomach, but apple cider vinegar. I'll do
Yeah.
like a shot of that. That shit's
Oh,
great.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dang. We should thank some patrons before we talk about these trailers, right?
Sure.
Do people agree? Do people
Yeah, I
agree
think
with
we
that?
Yes.
I think we should probably thank some.
All right.
We're doing great. We're doing great, man.
We're doing
2024.
fine.
This
It's
is so good.
fine. Look, you guys are on the East Coast, so it's later for you. I just got done with work, so we're all like a little touched, but it's okay. We're okay.
Yeah.
Big old thank you to @NerdNumbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to A Bag Full of Bags.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew McGuire.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
Andrew Howe is a swell guy. Thank you to Andrew McGuire. So, do you like movies? Signed, Andrew Howe.
You guys, thanks.
Settle down. But
Calm
thanks.
the fuck down.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you. All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Bob Granville.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to Bootler Bootlisten.
Thank
you to Brian
you.
who Tom knows.
It's
Thank you to
true.
Broccoli loves the meat millie.
Thank
Thank you
you.
to Burrito wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska because he loves y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you to buy TikTok superstar Jason Parchin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia, out now wherever books are sold.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
And thank you to Christopher Robert Sparts, Esquire.
Thank you. God, I love thanking people. It's like a warm up. So now I'm like energized.
Yeah,
I'm
that
ready
felt
to go.
good. Yeah, it's like taking a swig of Worcestershire sauce.
It is. And it's time to talk about. We covered the teaser to this,
We
but
did,
now it's
yeah.
time to cover the full trailer for Spaceman.
The full Monty.
Yep. With Adam Sandler, directed by the guy who did fucking Chernobyl. This is about a spaceman, and he's in space, and he's a man in space, and he misses home. He's on some big ass mission, and he runs into just a big old fucking spider. Who's like, hello, I'm here to help you with your loneliness or your relationship, and I'm going to go into your mind and junk. And that's what we know so far. It's serious. It's not a comedy. I wrote that I really wish they changed nothing, and then when it was at the end, it was just cut to black, Billy Madison 2. And I think that really would have expanded the lore.
Yeah.
You know, like this is instead of the penguin.
Instead of the penguin, yeah, now he's
Yeah.
seeing a huge spider.
But obviously there's a question of like, is this in his mind or is it really an alien?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this?
I think I wrote in the notes I would destroy the spaceship trying to kill that spider the instant I saw it. Like, it's just a giant spider.
It is.
Yeah, when it first comes onto the screen, first of all, it's very dark, too dark to see it. But also when I saw it, I thought it meant like a regular Earth spider was on the ship when it launched, and then it like mutated a bunch from space radiation or something. But
that would be cool.
It seems like it's just a space alien who matches Earth spiders and is big. I don't know why.
All my
Quite
questions
large.
would be about that.
Yeah.
All my questions would be like, so does
would-
that mean spiders are aliens?
Right, I
or
would never stop
Yeah.
asking him questions about the spider thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like make the alien an alien is my thought. Not a spider.
Right. Not a giant fucking spider. I mean, I assume that means something.
Right, of course. Yeah, I assume it's going to be something like, your mind can't conceive of what I am, so this. I don't know why you picked that.
Or he's really just in his head and he
Yeah.
chose spider.
You could be a popsicle. That'd be way less threatening.
Or
That would be funny, like, I have changed into one of the commonest animals on your planet, which I assume
Yeah.
is beloved. And he's like, no, most of us are a little afraid of them, but this is
like,
bad.
oh, okay.
Like, well,
Well,
I
I
already
can't-
changed. I can't change again.
Yeah.
It takes, there's a big refractory period. Well, okay, we're stuck. All right.
you're just going to have to get used to it.
Stuck as a spider for the next 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I either want that or him to constantly be like, I can help you with your problems. I'm just going to need a little bit of your blood. Just a little bit.
I'd be waiting for that shoe to drop.
Yeah.
I would never turn my back on this thing,
I'd
no
never
matter
go to
how
sleep. You'd
sweetly he
wake up
talked to
being
me. Yes,
webbed.
you'd wake up in a cocoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would be your fault because he'd be like, well, I'm a giant
I'm
spider.
a huge spider talking to you in a soothing tone. What did you think I was going to do?
Right.
Of
With
course I'm
fucking-
going to eat you.
It's Paul Dano.
It sure
I assume
is.
It's a spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a pretty large cast, so I think it's a lot of flashbacks.
Or it seems to be like probing his mind because he misses his wife, and it seems like they're who is played by Carey Mulligan, and it seems like they're having issues in their marriage or something, and he's worried about it. So it looks like the spider is like mind melding him and like viewing his memories like a Star Trek episode. I think
Right.
is what the trailer is
you're right.
suggesting.
You guys get the vibe that there's more. There's much more to this. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, in the basic sense of like, why is he even alone? Like, what is he doing? Because like
Right.
talking about his marriage problems, it's like, yeah, if you're blasted, like if you're being launched through space into nothingness away from Earth, yeah, you probably do have marriage problems, don't you? You have a lot of problems. Like this is like this is like Interstellar.
Things weren't
right?
working
Where
out
it's
for
like-
you back home.
Right. Like, why is he doing this in the first place? Is it because, is it Interstellar? Is like the Earth dying? What is it? What is his mission to begin with? Why is he alone?
Right.
I just think there's, and when I say there's more to this,
Right,
like,
it's-
obviously there's more to this, but I feel like there's more to it that we learn quick in the movie when we watch
Right,
it.
like like the fact that why is it a spider? I think I really
Yeah.
like this director. Chernobyl is incredible. I like Adam Sandler trying to be serious on Uncut Gems. It's a good movie.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
into this. I'm into this.
Yeah.
I'm excited for how weird this looks.
Oh, I'm 100% into it.
I'm just remembering, I think in the trailer they say it's a European space mission too. And then he has
Yeah.
little like Czech Republic patches on his uniform. So I'm surprised he's a European astronaut, but he's a good actor. So I don't know. Could work out.
Right. I don't know why they did that. There's two writers, and it looks like the writers haven't done much. So good for them. And I wonder if that's how they originally wrote it and conceived it, and then they're like, we have Adam Sandler, and they're like, really? I mean, okay, like
Yeah, put him in there.
yeah, it'll get people watching it. So we're not going to say no, but also that's nothing like what we planned.
Yeah. It would be so easy to make him American or Canadian. I don't know why. But oh
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Who can say?
He's in space. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like
That's the
Chernobyl.
future.
Chernobyl was also very much the writer, but
Yeah,
he still did a good job.
but the
He also did-
directing is pretty solid in it.
yeah, he did some of David Bowie's last music videos too, which were well done. Like, this is a good director. It's a good director. So I don't know. I'm down. I'm down for whatever this goofy fucking movie is.
Yeah,
This weird ass
whatever this
thing.
goddamn spider is up to.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this?
No,
Yeah, I agree.
No.
Could be good.
Here's what I'll say, Tom. I actually, when I watched this trailer, I bumped something from our schedule and put this on our schedule instead for We Just Watched.
Oh, sweet.
And is that fair?
Yeah,
I guess I should have asked you.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Because I was like, well, shit, this looks like we're gonna want to talk about it. And for some reason, it's like Netflix releases don't like go on my radar for releases as much. Because they tend
Nor
to just
should they, because they're usually
they're really quiet about their releases. Speaking of Netflix, this next one is also Netflix, and I am super curious about it. It's Orion and the Dark. It feels like a DreamWorks trying to do a Pixar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It has that that DreamWorks animation, and it's doing that Pixar thing where it's about how like the night is a character, and then it's like Inside Out, right? Like the concept, falling asleep is its own little character, and insomnia is its own little character, and then the daytime. Apparently, nighttime hates the daytime because the daytime is bragging. The thing that's relevant here is that it's written by Charlie Kaufman, but everything else
that is unexpected.
It's unexpected because everything else is what you'd expect. Meaning that it is the director of like they worked on Trolls and the Angry Birds movie. Like it's your standard kids movie. It is co-written by two other writers who also have done your standards, like who did like one of the fucking Trolls movies. So it's like this fairly middle of the road. Like it's apparently based off a book, if that helps. But it's
cool.
It's like
if you got a thing for books.
You got a thing for books. No, I mean if it helps wrap your head around this. Like I just don't know why Charlie Kaufman's involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know what he's doing in this.
Who let him in?
Right. Like I feel like what if
it feels like the same thing with the Adam Sandler thing before. It's like, well, we got Charlie Kaufman. Really?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
None of this trailer doesn't advertise that Charlie Kaufman co-wrote it.
Yeah.
So that's why I wonder if Charlie Kaufman like made a script based off the book, and then it got passed off to Netflix, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna change a bunch of shit, but thanks."
Right.
Or he was brought in. Yeah. Or he was brought in for rewrites or something, and he just needed the work. Or he just like quietly got involved, and or this movie's gonna be fucking nuts. Werner Herzog is the narrator.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
If anybody knows how to respect the dark, it's him.
It is about how darkness is great. Is that the idea?
It seems to be, like you said, Inside Out, like how it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah, Inside Out was my first and overwhelming thought. It's Inside Out but for sleep, which is like a pretty good idea. It would be a better idea if Inside Out didn't exist already and be really prominent in my head. But like it's a good idea otherwise. Yeah.
Right. So that's my thoughts are either it is something that just Charlie Kaufman was involved in, but it's been just watered down as like we're just going to be a kids movie. We're playing off the things, or this is as good as the trailer could be to explain something that's probably like really fucked up and weird. Like that's my hope, right? That this is like weird and meta and loses its mind, and that this is the trailer that they could cobble together based off some madness that Charlie Kaufman. I mean, for people who might not know who Charlie Kaufman is, does that need to be explained? He wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He wrote Being John Malkovich. He wrote Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. He wrote and directed I'm Thinking of Ending Things. He's not known for making like normal things. So
yeah, I guess like if I had to pick someone to take a Pixar-y script and make it some way different, that's a pretty good person to pick. If that's the order that the progression went in, like I don't know, it could work out.
Yeah, I mean this could be very good. It's just the trailer. It's I guess my biggest note is like say it's written by Charlie Kaufman, because right now that's kind of the only unique thing going on for this film from where I'm sitting. Otherwise, it just looks like they're doing Inside Out, but I would argue not as well. I mean, again, I haven't read the book or anything, but where it's like, what if nighttime is a person? I'm like, okay, man.
What if it was called Eternal Moonshine? Just think of that.
Eternal Moonshine.
Yeah, fuck it.
A joke for no children.
Except for one weird child. One real weird child. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone who's read the book knows what's going on here. If this is going to be, unique. I don't know, man. Did anybody have any other thoughts? Should we talk about The Gentleman?
Yeah, let's talk about The Gentleman.
Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, but it's a TV show.
Starring the dude from season 2 of The White Lotus.
Oh, okay.
That's who the guy is.
Yeah, I know.
This looks fun.
Yeah, the very, very last thing is the reveal that Ray Winstone is in it. So that's great.
Right.
That's a really good sign.
It's like a surprise reveal at the very end. It's like Ray Winstone turns around. We're like, oh, shit!
Right, he's like Thanos. Like, they're really teasing him. According to IMDb, he's only in one episode. I don't know how accurate that is. Vinnie Jones is also there.
Thank you for checking into that. Yeah, because I feel betrayed if he's not in at least a lot of the show. Yeah.
It does sound like they're gathering Britain's toughest dudes.
So this is this based off the goddamn movie? I can only assume it is. All right. It's just a weird movie to adapt. I'm not saying you can't. Just that we just covered the Sexy Beast TV series as well.
That's true.
Where it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Is Ray Winstone in that?
He better be. I don't know if
in
he
the Sexy Beast show, man. I hope so.
He was in the movie, right?
He was in the movie.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's a prequel, so he's probably not in that. But I do love that. Yeah, Ray Winstone stuff. Where like this is what the kids want. We need
the Winstone-averse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it looks fine. I don't. It looks fine.
Yeah, I mean, I liked. Alex, did you see The Gentleman, the movie?
Is that? It's gonna sound weird. Was that with like Charlie Hunnam and Hugh Grant and Michelle Dockery?
Matthew McConaughey.
And Michelle Dockery. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I saw it and didn't remember it very well. I had to check my own head if I saw it or not. It was. I remember thinking it was like fine.
Yeah. I'd watch it again, but it's very like your standard issue Guy Ritchie. Was that made for Netflix?
No, that came out in theaters.
I think I saw it on Netflix, but yeah.
I think it was also mildly racist. I seem to remember.
I don't remember. I guess.
But anyway,
what I'm getting to is like I feel like there's this thing with filmmakers now, and Netflix, but not just Netflix, where they like this is a show where Guy Ritchie is just like, yeah, let's see what happens, meaning that like. Yeah. Maybe this will last for a bunch of seasons. Maybe it'll be like House of Cards, where is that Fincher?
Yeah, he produced it at least. And directed a few episodes, I think.
Yeah, where they put their name attached to it, and then they see where it goes. Because like he hasn't, like I just looked it up. He only directs like a couple episodes of this, and so it's like
it's more than I expected, honestly.
Yeah, so it's just that it's the wind up thing where they wind it up, let it go, and see. Like if it's gonna be a thing or not, and if it's not a thing, so be it. If it is a thing, maybe they'll give it more attention. That's my guess. I don't know. Maybe that's cynical. Maybe that's too cynical of me to say.
No, I think you're right, and this is one of the better ways of doing that at all. Just like the broad umbrella of Guy Ritchie stuff. Yeah, is a pretty good premise for a TV show. Like, great.
Yeah. And I don't think that's particularly cynical either. Like that's kind of every TV show. It's like, well, here's a premise that could go on. Let's see if it works.
You're right. It's more realistic because like this looks good. I might forget about it completely until I hear it gets canceled. You know what I mean? And that's not a problem with the show. It's a problem with streaming and how many goddamn things exist.
Yeah, and just my brain and how tired I am most of the time. It's like a new show. It's like, okay,
you have to watch it.
I have to meet a whole new group of people,
right?
And get invested in their make-believe lives.
It's
I
hard
just met all the
when,
previous gentlemen. Come on.
All
Tell me
new
there's more
gentlemen?
gentlemen.
At least have the decency to call it more gentlemen.
You guys want to talk about this next one? A Bloody Lucky Day?
Yeah.
I don't remember why I threw this on there, but it looks good.
I'm into it. It looks kind of like Collateral.
It's like wacky Collateral.
Oh,
It's
Collateral, that movie. Wow.
yeah.
Yep.
Remember that
It's a
one?
Michael Mann film.
Yeah, and like Tom Cruise has the blonde hair of like the
great.
captain of a high school swim team, kind of, but also
It's the
for a
salt and
killer.
pepper. Yeah, it's his murder hair.
yeah.
This is a series. Holy shit! This
It's
is
a series?
Sorry, I literally just clicked on it to see, and it is a fucking series
Oh.
on Amazon.
really seemed like a
not on
movie
Amazon,
idea.
Paramount. Yeah, I'm actually now like nervous about it. So it's like a real happy-go-lucky taxi driver who's kind of a delight, and then he picks up a fucking serial killer, and the tone of the trailer starts as like downright silly, and then ends with just like blood.
Right, he's like
Blood
seeing
and-
pigs in the cloud and stuff. He's like, oh, it must be a sign. This is my lucky day.
Right.
I do love how like it starts out so wacky, like it's gonna be almost like a Farrelly Brothers movie, and
Yes.
then it becomes Collateral.
Yes, it's a very weird turn within the trailer. Just the trailer alone, look it up. It has like a plot hole or a plot twist in the trailer practically.
Yeah, that's part of why I thought it was a movie. It just seems like a perfectly movie-sized idea, like a great 2 hours.
Yeah,
How do you make a series of this?
don't know. That's gonna be tough.
I also love the translation because this is not an American show. The translation in like they don't say like it like one of the titles just says a serial killer is in my taxi, and it was like, are you telling me this trailer? Like, are you making an appeal directly? Like, it's all framed in the first person, the text, and I don't know why they're doing that, but it's kind of delightful.
It's because it's your lucky day. You got lucky.
That's true.
Yeah,
But yeah, what is this? Is
this
it
could
just going
happen
to be?
to you, friend.
Is it going to be just him constantly driving around this, or is it like a mini series? I could see this being a
A
mini
mini series, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe that's it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess other passengers could get picked up, like that shared ride kind of deal
Yeah.
that Uber does.
Yeah, and also like sometimes series these days are like fucking 6-8 episodes, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it might just be the equivalent of a very long movie that's just broken up. I don't know.
Yeah, there's plenty of stops. In Collateral, Tom Cruise makes Jamie Foxx stop a few times so he can get into
He does.
shootouts and cool action scenes.
Yeah, and like stop and bleach his hair again.
Yeah.
They should have given this guy Collateral hair.
Yeah. Just slick back white hair like a Final Fantasy character.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh man. I mean, this looks good though. I am now kind of worried that it's a series.
Yeah.
So it's like I would sit down, I'd watch 2 hours of this, but will I watch
I am
like 8 hours
genuinely
of this?
less excited that learning it's a series, but
We were just explaining why too. We were literally explaining why this is because we're lazy. It's what it is.
Yep. Really
Yeah.
is. It really is.
Like, is it different? Like, in your like, I feel like in my 20s I watched more things. So, is
I
it
did.
as
I
simple
think
as
so,
that?
yeah.
Is it just that we don't have time for things?
I don't know. I don't know what it
We're
is. I don't know
tired.
what's happened to us.
I
Folks,
think
if you know what
I
happened to
just
us,
got
write
in like
in.
a really fixed mindset that this idea would be an exciting movie, and I'm like not letting it go. I really
Yeah.
just think this idea seems Collateral sized. I wasn't even thinking of Collateral. It's just like, yeah, you do that, and then the story's complete. You know?
I think what it is that it's a more interesting story when you accept the idea that it's a fleeting thing, where it's like this can't sustain itself. Like this dynamic of a cab driver with a serial killer is like that's like a rampage size event.
Right.
That's not a series of things. Then it gets sillier when you're like, well, how does this keep happening then? You know, like it's it's sort of like how Christopher Nolan handled Two-Face, which is like, yeah, this guy's good for maybe a couple hours with like half of his face burnt. He's not going to last more than a day doing this. And he's right. That's a fleeting concept. Whereas, like in the animated series, it's a little more cartoonish, where it's like someone needs to fucking give that guy something for his face, but no one is.
Really need to put that man in the hospital.
Yeah,
he really needs to be there.
I don't know how this man's alive.
His face looks horrible.
Yeah.
I never thought of Two-Face that way. That's so true.
Yeah,
how does he function for more than like a minute? Yeah,
exactly. That's why Gritty Two-Face was a guy who lasted maybe half a day.
Yeah,
like who just does a rampage through painkillers.
He went on a very specific rampage.
Right. They could have ended it with him not getting killed, but him like standing for a second.
In the street.
Yeah.
From the intense trauma to his
suddenly
face.
Screaming and going, "Oh my God, my face!" as the painkillers wear off.
It's like I think it's like in the 80s SNL they did a recurring sketch called Massive Head Wound Harry, where it was just a guy, like the premise of the very brief comedy sketch is that a guy tries to go to parties and stuff and he has a massive head wound and it's bad.
Right, and it's a big problem. Also, for the nerds listening, I know he refused painkillers. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. Which makes it even weirder.
Which makes it even more out of his fucking mind.
Spend the whole time just screaming, like, "Oh my God, my face!"
Moving? Just pure rage.
Yeah.
Right. And how is he focused on like vendettas and complicated plans and then step 7 of my plan is it like, no, half your head is like
yeah. You're going to lie down and never get back up at some point soon.
I do love what sorry, this is becoming like a Dark Knight podcast for a minute, but I do love that was like Joker's like big end game was I'm gonna burn this guy's face and he's gonna go ape shit. I'm gonna set his head on fire.
And it worked.
And he is gonna freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
In a way I predict. Yes. In a way I will predict precisely. I'm a chess master. Yes.
You really called that shot.
Yeah. He's gonna be a surprise. He's gonna be a big problem for a surprising number of people.
Fucking Two-Face. All right. This is a biggie, I think. This is a biggie for me.
Yeah.
This next trailer. Abagail. This is from the directors of Ready or Not, who then went on to do the Screams, who, very famously are no longer associated with the Screams, I believe, nor is anybody.
Right.
The Scream 7 is going to star nobody. It's just going to be.
Wait, what?
This is going to be.
I haven't seen any of them. I don't understand.
Scream. They needed to stop. They needed to stop a while ago, but the new Scream, apparently they let go their main actress. They didn't offer Neve Campbell enough money to come back. They basically just shunned everybody one after another who was carrying that.
Weird.
And then the directors sort of left. And so it's just going to be Ghostface sitting around looking for people to stab.
Yeah. Stabbing his ball.
They're in trouble with that.
He'll be alone on a spaceship until he hallucinates a big spider and talks to it.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll finally get Scream in space. It'll be real weird.
Movies.
But this is those directors. They directed Ready or Not, which is a blast.
Yeah, I really like that one.
This is Abagail. This is a group of criminals that includes Kevin Durant and Dan Stevens, I believe, is there, and Gus from Breaking Bad.
Kevin Durant? What?
Not the basketball player.
Durant.
The actor from 3:10 to Yuma.
That would
I was like,
great,
how did I miss Kevin Durant in this trailer?
Yeah, and Catherine Newton, who's in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Basically they kidnap a little girl, and then they find out that the little girl is a vampire, and the vampire's picking them off one by one.
Seems cool.
And she's a ballerina. Yeah, considering the directors, and I don't know who wrote this, it's a different writer, but considering the people behind it, there's a very good chance this will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no,
good.
I'm into this.
It's the writer of Ready or Not as well, and The Hole in the Ground. So it's good writers. I think. Do you guys agree with my one note here? My one issue is that it feels like ever since *Malignant*, horror movies, there's been like a genre of horror movies that are just trying to be a meme. They just really want to get memes.
Yeah, Malignant wasn't marketed on the meme though.
Exactly.
So it sort of like started with like, well, it didn't really start with it, but I'm thinking like Megan, where it showed the TikTok dancing in the trailer, which kind of spoiled it in the movie.
Right, Megan's the big one that made me think of this, which is Megan, when they have her dance as well in this. And they have like 3 times a character goes like, oh my God, she's a vampire ballerina. Isn't that random? Like they keep saying it in the trailer, it feels like, that they want us to be so impressed with that. And like, if it weren't these people making it, I would be very. That would turn me off of this. Like that, them kind of pushing that at me. Like, isn't this fun? Don't you love this? Makes me want to be like, okay, never mind. I'm not watching this. You're way too desperate. But I like the people who made this, so I'm sort of saying blaming that on the marketing more than anything, you know.
Yeah,
but I think that like
I do like the idea of doing like the Ransom of Red Chief, except instead of just being a pain in the ass, it's a vampire.
Yeah,
that's a fun idea.
It's a fun idea. I feel like there are variations of this idea we've seen before, but I do like this. And this does look fun and charming. I just wish the marketing, because I think that thing of like that memification of horror happens to good movies too. That's the thing. It happened to like Barbarian, and that's a good movie. So it doesn't speak to the quality of the film so much as a marketing tactic that I really hope they fucking veer away from soon, because I find it to be a big turn off.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm also too scared to see most horror movies, but I still feel like I've seen memes, like the one the Mr. Policeman, I gave you all the clues thing.
The snowman.
For the snowman?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different type of memification where that movie was a disaster. And then everybody kind of made fun of it. I got to watch that movie again.
Man, we should. We should watch that again, Dave.
But that was their marketing, and I'm sure they embraced it when that became a meme. But that movie is, that movie's made by a really good director. It's the director of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and they just fucked it up so bad that like they didn't shoot a percentage of it, like they didn't shoot some of the script. Like that movie was a disaster.
Don't shoot all the script. That's so much work.
Yeah.
No, just you can throw a lot of those pages out.
Yeah, you don't need them.
You don't need all of them. You don't need all those pages. Way too many pages. Way too many words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, put your feet up.
But yeah, I don't know. This looks good. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the main event here.
For sure.
Air Force Down.
Oh man, this movie looks
the main event.
This movie looks so cheap, but it also looks awesome in like the way that the Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning is awesome.
Yeah, so first of all, the original title, or did I just write it down wrong? It's Air Force One Down.
Yeah,
Air Force
that's
One
what I said.
Down.
Air Force One Down.
And it looks like it uses the sets from Air Force One, the movie, although I don't think those sets are there anymore. I'm very impressed by this movie's ability to have enough budget to realistically create a fancy plane. Like I did not think that would be the case.
It doesn't look great, to be clear.
No,
I mean, this movie
looks
cheap as hell, but like,
yeah,
it all like they are flat out beating the shit out of each other in the trailer and like hitting dudes in the head with hammers and stuff. It looks pretty bitchin'.
Yeah, it's a stunt choreographer directing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yes, it's very much like you said, Day of Reckoning. Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning.
Right, where a movie that has no business being awesome is somehow awesome.
Yeah, it's probably just a vehicle for stunts, and this woman who plays the secret agent. If people are wondering what this is, I think from the title Air Force One Down, you can probably guess what it is, right?
Right.
I was like so flabbergasted that you can do this. Like you can just barely change the title of a huge other movie and do kind of the same story, right? Like, I felt like somebody was like doing a reenactment of Air Force One.
What's funny is they usually do it when the movie just came out.
Right. That's the
whole point.
To be doing this like 27 years later.
Yeah. Which to me says that they have integrity. They waited.
That's true. They waited.
They're like, we don't want.
They waited a generation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what else is from that era? Like,
it's
like if you make like Jurassic Park and Zoo is your movie, and it's mostly the story from Jurassic Park, but you just picked some new actors and didn't spend as much money. Like that's what this looks like. It's crazy that you could do that, but I guess you can.
And put karate
it also has Anthony Michael Hall in it.
It does, as a grizzled old Secret Service agent.
Yeah. So.
That's who that was. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's who that was.
Yeah,
so this got everything.
It's really incredible. Yeah. I really can't wait to watch this movie.
Yeah. Everybody watch Air Force One Down. It is. I don't know how much this costs. Maybe $1 million.
Dude, I mean, this is a we're gonna watch this on a movie night for sure.
Yeah,
like there's no doubt.
It's I mean, it's Air Force One if the plane crashed.
Yeah,
see, that's the twist.
And
because
there was
down,
and there was way more karate and less of Harrison Ford's off balance punching.
Yeah,
which still looks like it hurts. Don't get me wrong.
It'd be so great if he
showed up in this. But for different reasons.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Harrison Ford is very averse to like karate, isn't he? He never does.
He's not a lifting his leg up off the ground. Are you kidding me?
Right. No. He like can't be bothered. It's great. I love it. Take a load off.
Okay, so this is from the writer of couple things I need to highlight. One, V for Vengeance, made in 2022, which is clearly
V for Vendetta.
I see what's going on here.
But again, way too late.
Why are they waiting so long?
I don't know. Also, the writer of Baby Geniuses, the 1999 one, they wrote The Karate Dog, and then they wrote kind of my holy grail movies. This has been on my radar for a while.
I've seen The Karate. Is that the one with Chevy Chase's voice in it?
Maybe. This one has been in my radar for a while, and I still have to see it. It's a movie called Orphan Horse.
Dave, we must.
No.
Yeah, it has John Voight. Orphan Horse, 2018's Orphan Horse, starring John Voight.
We simply must.
Yeah, how can we not? How have I not watched this yet?
I don't know. You're really you're letting yourself down.
2 words, Alex. Orphan Horse. Orphan Horse. Here's the thing. I think, based off the premise, which is a runaway girl hides out in a barn of a retired horse trainer and forms a bond with the horse, is that it's not an orphan horse. It's two things: orphan, horse. Like orphan, checklist. Comma, horse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got an orphan and a horse, and it's called Orphan Horse.
It's got a barn. It's got John Voight's face.
Yeah, Orphan Horse.
Dave, man.
So
there's a child that lives inside of us all, and you're really letting that little guy in your heart down by having not watched Orphan Horse yet.
Well, I'm waiting for this other film, Air Force One Down. We should watch Air Force One Down and Orphan Horse back to back.
We should. That'll heal the wounds of this country.
You know, J-Lo has a trailer out for a movie. I did not put it on this list. There wasn't enough room.
There wasn't enough room with Air Force One Down.
Air Force One Down.
I think we made the right choice.
Orphan Horse should have been on this, even though it's already out.
Let's move on.
All right. I'm Googling Orphan Horse real quick. Mm-hmm. Watch. I want to make sure it's available. Oh, it's available.
Good. I'm so glad, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have that security. That comfort.
Right. Yeah. This next year also didn't need to be on this list, but you all know why.
And yet here it is.
Adam the First, featuring David Duchovny with prison tats.
And he's doing a voice. He's living in the woods and doing a voice.
This is about a 14-year-old boy who travels across the country. Okay, it's a reverse Broken Flowers. Is that what it's called? Broken Flowers? Yeah.
Yeah, where he's looking for his kids.
It's a reverse Broken Flowers. It's kid going around the country to meeting a series of men who could be his father after finding a list of names. So it's an exact, yeah. But this is all to say, in the trailer features David Duchovny playing a dirtbag with like again prison tats, and like you said, he's doing like a real gruff voice.
A vague outdoor voice.
I love that he's back out there doing stuff.
Hell yeah. He's got a beard.
He was in the new Pet Sematary also doing a voice.
I was on a plane. I rewatched Zoolander for the first time in a long time. And I forgot David Duchovny has a funny, brief role in it.
He does. He's great.
He does. He's very really funny in it.
Yeah.
He's perfect for that role. Retired hand model.
And like his reaction when Zoolander asks again what's going on, and he says, I just told you, man. It's
so good.
Really well done. Yeah.
I haven't seen Meg Ryan directed a movie with him in it recently.
Yeah. What comes next or what happens next? I forget.
What happens later?
What happens later? That's what's.
And it's a romantic comedy between her and David Duchovny. I love this. I love that David Duchovny is just back at it all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's great.
Doing the most random fucking movies you could possibly imagine. In the past year, he did a Meg Ryan romantic comedy, a Pet Sematary prequel, and Adam the First. Whatever you want to call this.
It's a confusing. Adam the First is a confusing title, I think, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
why.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It could be good, but I'm not sure.
So he's also doing a thriller called Unearthed with him and Peter Stormare about scientists in the Siberian tundra who unearth some sort of monster.
Oh hell yeah! I hope he does I hope he does a Russian voice.
God, yes. It's an Italian film.
Shit, yeah.
Oh, they should do Italian voices. Great.
Yeah.
This is great. This is all great news. I'm so happy that David Duchovny's out there.
What do you guys think of Adam the First? I don't even care about this movie.
No, it looks fairly. I don't know. Fairly like something I've seen a lot before.
Yeah, nothing against it.
No,
I do.
I
legitimately think the trailer played up the Duchovny part. He's probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it feels like he dies in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
or like it feels like he's like killed by the cops.
Oh, it does seem like they're killed by the cops. That's true.
Yeah,
it's really stark way to open the trailer. Honestly.
Yeah, it feels like they had him, and they're gonna use him. They're gonna use Duchovny, and they got. I mean, it worked. Look at them on our podcast, and they're the only reason we're talking about it is because they got Big D up there.
That's right,
up in there.
Yeah, there you go.
He brought a beard with him.
He did. Brought it from home.
Yeah, he did. I agree with this myself. I hope you guys like it.
Because I'm not
drew all the tattoos on himself.
Yeah, they're like, this wasn't the character at all, but all right, we'll go with it. This final trailer is for something that was on. I covered on movies that deserve more hype. It's honestly, the title is a guess because everybody seems to say that this is what it's for, but the trailers don't actually give a title. Longlegs, the second teaser. This is for people who didn't listen last week or the week before. Mm-hmm. This is directed by Oz Perkins, who is an actor, but is also famously director of Gretel and Hansel and The Blackcoat's Daughter and one other thing. I'm the Pretty Thing that something.
Lives in the house, I think.
Lives in the house. I really like this director.
Yeah, Gretel and Hansel was pretty striking.
Yes. It's very grim, but this looks like Silence of the Lambs esque, where it's about a FBI agent played by Micah Monroe chasing a serial killer played by Nicolas Cage. And by all accounts, he is full on Nicolas Caging it. So
this trailer is so bizarre and indecipherable. It's
The
just
last
it's just
trailer
a
was-
series of unsettling images.
yeah, the last trailer was just 2 still images. And I just need to give props to just these trailers because
They're really spooky.
I like this so much better than a lot of trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pure vibes. It's just throwing out vibes. Like I think the title of the video on YouTube is like "Say Your Prayers" or something. Remember to say your prayers is what it's
Yeah.
called.
Yee. Woo.
Yeah, it's
It
creepy.
really creeped me out. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, you're not a big horror fan, so I'm
Yeah.
guessing
But I
you're not
respect
going to
it.
see this. Yeah,
I respect what they're doing. It seems good. Yeah.
yeah. It really seems. I don't know. It's been a while since horror. Like it's weird that I sort of get it because if every horror movie did this, it would get annoying. You know.
Yeah.
After a while, I'd be like, just tell me the titles of your movies. I'm getting
I
them
think
mixed up.
every car
But-
commercial did this in like the 80s and early
Yeah.
90s where they would hide the car. It's like, show me
Yeah,
the
and you're
car.
like, yeah, I wanna buy the car, right? That's the point. But this is cool. I wish more trailers were creative. I'll say it that way. Not necessarily all doing this, but like finding interesting ways to sell your movie. And this looks. I'm getting more and more hyped about this fucking movie, which
Yeah.
for all I know is fine. It's not
Right,
even
it's
amazing.
a bit. It's just it's got a bit of like an ARG vibe to it, like all the viral marketing they did for Dark Knight and some other of Nolan's movies, and
yeah.
Donnie
like Blair
Darko or
Witch,
something.
Donnie Darko. Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna say Blair Witch. Which I don't know. It's good. Everybody check out these trailers. They're pretty fun.
Pretty freaky. Yeah, there's just
Yeah. Just a fucking nun.
just some weird nun being weird,
Yeah.
being freaky.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And
Don't
then
need that.
It ended with like a cipher or something. I really
Yeah,
found the
yeah.
cipher spooky. I forgot how creepy that is. Yeah.
I'm sure someone has figured out the cipher.
Oh,
it would be
probably.
hilarious if this is for the Nun 3 instead of
It's a Cloverfield movie somehow.
yeah. Oh god. We're back, baby. You didn't want us. No one asked for us, but we're back.
10 Cloverfield Nun. You know? Ooh.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, 10 nuns. Oof, that's real spooky.
Yeah.
I know.
All fighting each other.
All
Same
in a
outfit,
lane.
Cut it out.
Take it easy. I think that's
We
it
have
for
some news
trailers,
stories.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. We got to thank some more producers.
Let's
Big
do
old
it.
thank you to Dan Hackroyd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas, Francis.
Thank
you. Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson.
Boot.
Thank you to Deborah's awesome. Barbara's great and cancer can go to hell.
Thank
you. Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless and his elephant army demand you watch Lair of the White Worm.
Thank you.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terrestrial.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ed Nugg.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Exploding Rooms.
Thank you.
Thank you to Funky G. Mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Thank you. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Happy Holidays from the ghost of Dave Andrew Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Hams.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge.
Yes.
Thank you to Jay the Crow Baron says, build a guillotine in Rich People's Yard 2024.
Yes.
Bringing that 2024 energy. Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you to Look Mime on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me. Thank you to
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you. Let's talk news stories. Not much, so we might as well talk about this fucking George Carlin AI special.
Yeah. I'm real sick of all this garbage.
His daughter, obviously was like, no,
Yeah.
no, none of this. I just want to point out how this, like, I didn't watch it. Obviously, I haven't even clicked on it. But from what I can tell, it doesn't even seem to be AI. Like, I can't. Is it that the visuals are AI? Because I don't think it was written by AI.
Oh, weird.
I don't know what about its
Like
AI.
a deep fake, you mean?
I don't know what about its AI, because as they say, it is someone doing a Carlin impression. They very specifically say. No, they are.
No,
okay,
they're generating his voice.
So the voice is calling.
They're
Okay, the
generating his
voice
voice.
is saying it's an impression the same way, but there's like comedians behind it, right? They're like Will Sasso.
It's a YouTube channel, and yeah, Will Sasso is associated with it somehow.
Okay, so I think it's just, and maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was just like it was written by humans, and it's just an AI doing the voice.
I'm not certain.
I'm not gonna watch it. This sounds terrible.
Yeah, all this stuff is like radioactive and heinous to me. I like stop it.
I don't understand.
I'm just not going to click on any of it to even give it like a second of appearance that people want this. Like no.
I don't understand why, because it seems like every demonstration of AI seems to be a demonstration of like against AI. There's even been like someone did the AI South Park cartoon. Did anybody watch that?
Yes, yeah.
And Cody was floating to me that there was a Twitter theory that it was actually made as a parody. Like people were actually making fun of AI. But it's so hard to tell.
Right. I heard that it might have been actually made by Matt and Dre.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
I mean, that's just an internet rumor. Who the fuck knows?
Right, because it's hard to tell because everything is like this. And there's like this disconnect. Like, are you guys on the TikToks?
Yes.
I am not.
On TikToks, every now and then I'll get a TikTok that says, try to guess which picture is AI generated and what's real. And they present it like a challenge.
But it's data mining. They're perfecting this software.
Well, it's data mining, but also you don't like give them input. They just show you slides and go like, oh, it was this one. You know, they'll show you two and then they'll give you the right one. It has never been hard, is my point. It has never once been hard to figure out the difference, but the people making it seem to think that it's hard. You know what I mean? Where they're like, bet you can't figure it out. And I know I'm self-reporting here, but I have aced every single one. Where they go, which one's
Nice.
AI? It's like, well, that one, the one that's is
good.
clearly AI.
Right, yeah, the one that
My
was
point
obviously
being that-
generated.
Yeah, my point being that I don't know what's going on where some people just look at AI and go, yeah, that looks great. And I don't know what's going on with those people because the rest of civilization is like, this looks very bad because it does.
Yeah, I think like there's some ways AI can be good or could be good, and even I hadn't heard of that South Park thing, but I'm probably the most okay with that because even though Matt and Trey like drive that show, it is made by a group of people, and also it's animated and like that show could live on beyond them in the normal way beyond AI, you know. So the one I'm the most repelled by is saying like this one dead person.
Yes.
We're going to make more of them.
He came back from the dead to do a comedy special.
That's
Right.
vile. Yeah, like
It's pretty
stop.
gross. Yeah, that's
My
pretty
alternate-
fucking gross.
Right. Especially like they say like, oh, think of it like an impression, and they compare it to Will Ferrell doing President George W. Bush, and it's like that's
Very, very different.
right. It's almost like they're demonstrating that they don't understand comedy, right? Because
Yeah.
Will Ferrell didn't impersonate another comedian doing stand-up. He did a joke by impersonating George W. Bush.
Right.
Like it.
Yeah.
He's
Like-
doing an
and an
exaggerated impression of a public figure.
Right. The more so people have made like AI conversations between Obama and Trump playing like Minecraft. That is actually closer to Will Ferrell impersonating Bush, right? That is a parody.
Yes.
Right. It's making
Done.
them into characters. They're clearly characters. Yeah. In like a
Right,
sketch.
Whether or not you like that, that's more.
Yeah.
This is just. I think my other theory is that a lot of these are just AI companies trying to get their name out there.
Yes. Yeah. They're all
Yes.
they're all bidding for like big government contracts to run like defense networks and shit.
Right, or like weird little programming things,
Mm-hmm.
things that aren't impersonating George fucking Carlin. It's sort of the way robotics companies will put out
Oh, the
videos
Boston
of their-
Dynamics stuff, and it's like, we're gonna strap guns to these.
right, where they put out these videos of like, oh look, it's like a dog, it'll play fetch or he can help, and it's like that's not what we're designing them for, but we're getting our name out there. So they don't care. Is ultimately they don't care that people are like, this is disgusting, because the point is to get their name out. But then like that then you look at people like Will Sasso and whoever else involved, and it's like, do you feel
you
good
should
that that's
know
what you are?
better, right?
Right.
You would expect a guy like someone like Will Sasso to know better.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't know.
even worse that they're doing it to get their name out. Like maybe there's some plausible moral argument for like, we used AI to build more wonderful human of history, like a philosopher who brings us peace and joy. Like, oh, okay, I guess you're
Right.
trying to help or something. But if you're just like puppeting the corpse of George Carlin to make your business bigger, it's so many levels of bad. It's awful to me.
I think if you're less online and less like you're just casually reading about AI, maybe it just seems a lot less insidious. Or if you're not in a creative, like, if someone has it on their phone and they're just playing with it, like it seems like it's fun. But like, again, these are other comedians who did this, and it's like, surely no one would find this appealing, right? Like, you'd think they'd know. I don't know.
And like Will Sasso, I have liked his work whenever I've seen it. It's mostly like sketch stuff and characters and stuff, but it's also not relevant to making a George Carlin special. But it's like, I don't know. I'd rather he just made Will Sasso stuff. Like,
Right.
Do that.
He was good in that X-Files episode. Yeah.
That's right.
I don't.
Oh,
That's why I'm like, they
That's
must
cool.
have been given a lot of money to do this. And for what? I don't know. It just, I don't know why.
I think it's 100% what you said. That is what I suspect.
I think so too. And then when you think about like why people, like, I think some of it is just like, the weird like Musk fanboy Twitter people where it's like they don't really represent the real world. They're just weirdos online. And then I think the rest of the people are like fairly casual. Like I've seen people in real life, like when I went home for the holidays, like casually show me an AI thing. Like, isn't this cool? And they're not very plugged in. And it's like, yeah, it's cool until you keep looking at them and you realize they're all kind of the same and they're not that great. Like that's what it is to me, is like at first it does seem kind of cool. And then the more you look at it, the more you realize like, oh, it's pretty limited. Like
it's predictive text.
Right. And like for
Built
example,
out.
Another trend I saw on the TikToks and on the Reddit was you tell the AI to say like, draw a picture of a pancake, make it more delicious, even more delicious, make it the most delicious thing, right? And there's a bunch of those where it's like, draw a picture of a bird, make it angrier, even more angrier. And inevitably, when you say make it the most blankest thing ever, it makes the picture cosmic every time. Like it makes it space, even if it's relevant or not, because that's the AI not understanding how to do this thing. And it keeps using the same tool every time to say like, well, make it like giant and cosmic. So it's clear that it's pulling from the same thing every single time. So it's not true creativity. And you can tell just from watching these patterns of how it,
it's limited to what it's cannibalized.
Yeah, exactly.
They just feed it other people's work and it cannibalizes from that.
Right, and the first time you see that, you go, oh, that's really cool. But then once you realize that's the only thing it does over and over again, you're like, oh, okay. It's a trick. It's a neat trick, but...
Now I am imagining they try to make this Carlin special, and he just ends up describing galaxies. So, or like it's like some weird Webb space telescope write-up. No jokes.
Some indecipherable rant.
Yeah.
Just exoplanets and stuff.
Apparently there's
emphasizing the punchline when it's not the punchline, just like delivering it all wrong because it's a robot.
Apparently he talks about how AI is good, the AI George Carlin in his special, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's definitely
I don't know,
something he would have said.
This is that other it's that other thing where it's like there seems to be a ton of people on the internet who don't understand things like Rage Against the Machine or George Carlin or Green Day or Blazing Saddles. Like, you guys notice that too, where it's like there's people who seem to have absorbed a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And will say these. So like
very
people are like,
very surface level interacting with the art.
Right. So like I wonder, was there someone who was like, no, this is great. George Carlin would love this. Like I just
right.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's really strange. It's like, how did you listen to any of this? And how could you not? What would, like, if you're picturing what George Carlin would have said about AI and you've watched any of his comedy, I don't understand why the first thing you wouldn't think would be him saying, "Oh, we've gotten so lazy that we're making robots make our art for us now. Like we can't even do that. We can't even express ourselves now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would certainly be not this.
Yeah, it wouldn't be AI is great. Like what?
Or AI, yeah, do absolutely resurrect me with AI, yeah.
Yeah, it would either be apathy or hate. There's absolutely no way he'd be like, "Have you seen this thing?"
Right.
Like, I think I just did Jay Leto's voice too. Like he would never be doing that about.
But also,
AI.
I mean, most importantly, and I think you guys can agree, who cares what he would have thinked? He's dead,
right?
And that's why you don't resurrect him via AI, because it's like most of all, it's like you can't put any words in their mouth. They're dead. They're dead. It's a dead person.
Well, it's also it's like an embarrassing display of your technology, right? Because it's like I built this impression by examining all of his writing and his delivery and all the ideas and topics he would write about, and it's like, and you came away with this,
right?
Like
and
that seems like your generating tool is not very precise or accurate.
Again, that's the weird thing with AI, where it's the disconnect. Like that South Park thing, whether or not it was done as a parody, there's tons of people sharing it being like, "Look how great this is." And it's like, are we watching the same thing? Like, it's so weird when people are like, "And nailed it. George Carlin stand up." And it's like, it's such a huge swing to take. And it's like, presumably, if it's done in earnest, they're like, "We want to show you how AI could even do George Carlin." And then it's so not him. And they have to like sit back and go, "Got it. Did it. It's George Carlin." And it's like, no, you just made a case against your product completely.
If anything.
Yeah.
It's fucking...
That's so true that it's such a big swing too. I hadn't thought about that there's been an evolution of comedy over time, and like start with a much more of a like protozoan comedian, like weak one-liners of the turn of the century or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
seriously. It's
Picasso.
like Elon Musk. It's like Elon Musk throwing shit at the Cybertruck and then it's smashing. Just like nobody asked you to do that, Elon, and then you did it and it didn't work. So like you just set yourself up to fail. It's that. It's him being like, "Yeah, it's a boat too," and it's like, it's not a boat. But now people are gonna judge it as a boat too because you said that, you jackass. What are you doing? Alien prequel. This isn't much of a headline.
It's from,
just that they're ignoring Prometheus and
I sort of get what he's saying. It's from Noah Hawley, who made the Fargo series.
Yeah.
So I'm still interested in the idea of him doing an Alien series, but also we've talked about it a lot, like how we don't care about the lore.
This is different than the Alien prequel, isn't it?
I think
Alien
so, yeah.
Romulus. Sorry, I was thinking of Alien Romulus, which is taking place between Alien and Aliens. So this is an Alien series.
Yeah.
Alien Romulus? There's so much Alien, man.
There's way too much Alien. Come on, guys.
So Alien I hate to say this because I love Alien, but there's too much Alien right now, and I would not do an Alien series. I don't think that's what anyone...
really interested in this person doing an Alien series.
Yeah.
That's like one of the only things that would make me interested in an Alien series would be getting somebody like this. Because I had the same kind of reaction to a Fargo series. I was like, why?
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, true.
I'm just... Yeah, it's... what's his name? Alvarez doing Alien Romulus, who did,
the Evil Dead remake.
Evil Dead remake.
And Don't Breathe.
And Don't Breathe. And, like, they're a good director, and so I'm like... That feels more Alien to me. But, yeah, you're right. It's like, this could be very good. But, yeah, I don't know why they would... I guess...
Well, what he explains in the quote in the Variety article is just like, he basically said the idea that it's like an ancient thing is way more appealing to him than something that was engineered relatively recently as a bioweapon, which is what Prometheus and Alien Covenant don't suggest. It's absolutely what they say.
I agree with that. I'm still... My problem is that I don't need any alien lore. like it sounds like he's gonna do his own lore about it as like an ancient thing. And I feel like the secret to Alien was always, we don't know. We don't know what these things are.
Yeah, I would hope that they could somehow capture the spookiness and the eeriness of the crashed spaceship in the first movie.
Right.
And sort of tease that as because of the lore of it, without ever fully explaining everything, because it would be impossible to explain. We're at the far reaches of space, right? Who are we going to ask?
Right. And what I'm worried about then is like, what are you going to make a TV show about?
That's true. Like, yeah. What's the show?
Thing.
Yeah. Timothy Oliphant's in it, though.
Yes. Good old Oliphant.
I hope he's just playing his character from Justified.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels
One
like...
of the aliens takes his hat. Like, oh no, my hat.
He gets very grizzled and gritty about it.
Yeah. But Alien has always just worked best as a slasher monster movie.
Yeah, when they don't explain too much. Like, Aliens is a great movie, but that's kind of the limit of what we need in terms of explaining the aliens. Just, like, basically how they function.
Right. I think so the question, of course, is, like, how do you continue that, right? First of all, who says you have to? But if you look at the first 4 Alien films, what they did was they followed Sigourney Weaver, and they followed Weyland-Yutani's efforts to harness the aliens, right? And they went into the lore there. They went into the lore of this corporation. They never went into the lore of where do the aliens come from, how do they work, anything like that. And I think that's the right direction to go.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way if you look at any slasher movie, like the Jason movies, it's the lore is this continuation, this spiral of like, how do we deal with Jason? Let's put him in
Fair
space.
question.
Let's freeze him.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's a real problem.
So I just don't think Origin is the right direction for aliens. But anything's possible, right?
I like spooky space. I like derelict space. There's something that appeals to me just as a horror fan, like those kinds of ideas, and we don't get to see those movies terribly often. So I'm hoping, because he seems to be really vibing on the first Alien specifically, I'm hoping it's like that tone.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fargo's really good. It's a good show. So that's what's got me. At least I'll watch at least one episode of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also supposed to make a like mini series out of the Kurt Vonnegut book Cat's Cradle, and then I think like business stuff not related to him tanked it. But so whenever I see his name in other stories like this, I'm like, yep, that's definitely not happening. Right? Like he's busy.
Well,
yeah,
it's still
really
in
rather
pre-production.
we do this story.
It's still in pre-production. You never know. Like it might just be tabled, and then he'll come back to it.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. You never know. Whenever you hear about these things getting made, there'll be shit that like it's tabled for 10 years and then they come back to it, So that does sound like something I'm more excited for, a Cat's Cradle series with Noah Hawley. But yeah, I don't know. Worst case scenario with Aliens is it's not good, and
right.
That's okay.
Most of Aliens is not good.
Yeah, we get plenty of aliens, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It can't hurt me.
Yeah.
Unlike the titular alien.
Exactly.
Who can hurt me.
It's like an alien just comes and tells you not very good ideas for stories.
Right.
Like,
It's just really telling me ways to sabotage myself. You don't need to pay that bill on time. You're right. Thanks, alien. Put your feet up. Take it easy.
Fucking Paul Dano's voice.
But then he starts dripping on the couch, sat on the couch with you. Oh, jeez. Oh, alien over the couch.
That's how they reinvigorate the series. They make the aliens start talking. What would they say? Tune in.
Ripley, hi. It's a funny voice they could have.
Just a bunch of, is it the doofiest voice? Wow.
Been a while, you know?
Why out the way in space?
You guys want to talk about Pauly Shore?
Sure.
This was like a meme. Pauly Shore, people were saying he should play Richard Simmons.
Yeah, and then he started lobbying for it.
Right, and this is a short film. So he's playing Richard Simmons in a biopic, which feels like a lie, because it's called The Court Jester. It is premiering, I think it's premiering somewhere like substantial as a short film at Sundance. It's premiering at Sundance, and then it's just going up on YouTube. So it like it's one of those things where it's like, is this like a secret Doritos commercial? Like if it weren't if it weren't going on Sundance, I would assume it is, because it feels like he lobbied for this and then someone threw it together and made a short film, and it feels like they want to make they're going to want to make a longer one, right?
Yeah, it feels like this is almost like proof of concept.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
I feel no connection to Pauly Shore stuff. I think I just haven't seen any of his movies or anything. Like, I always hear about Pauly Shore, and there's like legends around the Comedy Store in Los Angeles about him and his mom or something. But
For sure, yeah.
It's just a name that passes through my internet desk, and I'm like, all right.
Pauly Shore also did not, apparently very publicly said, I didn't give anybody permission for this. I'm
Richard Simmons, you mean?
Richard Simmons, yeah. I'm living a quiet life.
I don't
want to. So it just seems like, at best, it'll be like kind of a decent short film. At worst, it'll be like just making fun of Pauly Shore.
Really embarrassing, yeah.
Yeah.
I get weird about. It's like when that video went viral of that guy doing a Robin Williams impression, but he was doing Robin Williams learning that John Belushi was dead. And that like Jesus. Video went viral, and it was all these people, people were like tagging his Zelda Williams in it to be like, look, this looks like and then pushing for like they should make a biopic about Robin Williams and cast this guy. It's like, well, I don't like the idea of like we should cast this person just because they look like the real life person or they behave like the real life person. Like that god awful Steve Jobs movie that Ashton Kutcher made just because he looks like Steve Jobs.
That was a film.
Like
we saw that film.
Yeah, we sure did.
It's not the same thing, but it makes me think of the George Carlin AI thing, where it's like, why are we doing this? Is it in good faith or bad faith?
Is it just because Pauly Shore kind of looks like Richard Simmons?
Right, and is it just going to be him doing an impression of him? Did anybody actually, like, again, no one's talking to Richard Simmons, so it's like, is this really a biopic? Like, that doesn't sound like it is. They actually talked to Richard Simmons about it, so it's just going to be like from the outside looking in. Is it based off a book? It just feels like a little icky from this so far. They have time to prove me wrong, but I just don't know why we're doing this.
I don't think it's necessarily off limits if the person doesn't okay the project, because like he is a public figure, so he's definitely a legitimate subject for a film, whether or not you have his permission. But it doesn't sit quite right if you don't have like his blessing.
And it's clear that they started from these two people look alike. Let's figure something out. So it's like, did they even have a good story to tell?
Right. And for a subject like Richard Simmons specifically, who is like this figure that has like such goodwill around him, like people like Richard Simmons generally. So it would be like doing a Mr. Rogers movie. And Mr. Rogers being like this while he was still alive, and him being like, this fucking sucks, I didn't say they could make this about me.
Right.
Kind of like, it's like, it doesn't mean you can't make the movie, but it does raise his eyebrows for this particular subject.
It doesn't make people be on your side. Like,
not really.
Presumably you want Richard Simmons fans.
Yeah, and it's all of that, and then the second weird layer of it feels like it's a project about how weird Pauly Shore is.
Right.
Like there's like a meta cognitive thing of like, you're really watching a not even a movie, like a demo of, isn't Pauly Shore weird? Like, here he is doing this. Whoa.
Right.
Like, that's kind of gross, too.
That. Yeah, that is gross. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
Maybe this whole thing's just gross.
Shut it down, everybody.
We should stop making movies. We should stop making movies. It was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Yeah. We
I'm realizing I've been doing a lot of moral outrage in the stories section. Sorry, everybody, but
I mean,
I'm a Gran Torino Clint Eastwood type figure yelling at the world about all these different things. Maybe that's not the right person to pull for that comparison.
When I look at you,
what I mean?
I'm like, that's Gran Torino's Clint Eastwood right there.
Yeah, that's what we always called you.
Old Gran Torino.
Gran Torino
that's
Schmidt.
A film. Remember that film?
Boy, do I. No,
Yeah,
you guys
the
can't
credits.
see. Alex is sitting on a very high horse.
Yeah.
And wearing very high pants. They're up to like the pectoral area.
It makes the whole thing look even more impressive, even taller.
We mainly just see his knees on the Zoom call. Let's thank some more producers, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Big old thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank
you. Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house. Thank you. Thank you to musical guest, the Ludicrousmas Children's Choir. Thank you. Thank you to No One Can Hear You Screaming Space McNulty.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Norm.
Thank you to Pete for Pago.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Numenal Ultra Microscopic Silicol Volcano Coniosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
But are they orphans? Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank
you
you.
to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron, what patrons at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny, says, the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit.
Thank you.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger George Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chucks.
Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you very much.
And thank you to your mom.
Thanks. Woo.
Dave, here we are at the end of things, at the end of all things.
I am pooped.
At the nexus point of the universe.
Yeah.
So if you have a movie that deserves more hype, now's the time.
Okay. I do.
Oh, what luck!
This movie is going to Sundance, which I don't normally do this because I realize now, like, there's no release date on this, and in fact, it might take like a year for people to see this. This is Veni Vidi Vici, which is some sort of language for, what is it? Like, we came, we saw, we conquered. Yeah.
Julius Caesar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the one. This feels very similar to a movie like Triangle of Sadness. It is a satire on very rich people. It follows this super rich, I believe, group or family as this guy basically pushes to see what he can get away with being as rich as he is. And that inevitably leads to him hunting people from sport, but like in a very public way, it seems like not on an island. I think he's just doing it on the street from what I can tell from this trailer, which is kind of, I like that twist because we've seen the hunting people for sport.
Yeah, he's just kind of DC snipering it.
Yeah, he's just kind of being a overt maniac. And I enjoy that idea of like a rich person just seeing like, yeah, what can I do in society? It's very on the nose when it comes to what it's trying to say. But I would argue so is Triangle of Sadness, and that was a good movie. So it's kind of like, this is about execution and not message. But there's no reviews. There's really not much else to say about it. There's a trailer that you can watch. It's going to Sundance, so we'll probably start hearing about it. It's kind of a leap of faith because for all I know, this is a piece of shit. But it looked compelling from the trailer. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and it's foreign language. I think they were speaking German. I couldn't tell.
It's German,
yeah.
It's a German film.
That's important.
I think it looks interesting. Yeah, I thought of Triangle of Sadness as well, which I also liked a lot.
Yeah.
And that movie, like you said, was pretty, it wasn't super deep, but they did keep adding twists and other elements to it to sort of just, keep hitting the theme in interesting ways. So hopefully this movie will do a similar thing, because it does look like it looks like a dark comedy, like Triangle of Sadness. Like, it looks like it'll probably be genuinely funny in some spots, as well as, being, it's a satire.
Yeah, it's probably pretty violent at times, but it's satire, as you're saying.
Yeah. I'll depending on when this comes out, like you said, it may come out like next February, so I may not remember this film exists.
I'm sure we'll get more.
But it was a decent trailer.
Yeah, this could blow up. Like we've called our shots before. I'm pretty sure Anatomy of a Fall was more hype. Was it?
Oh.
It was definitely we definitely covered it very early. And so, like, I'm always looking at things like this and going, like, this is either going to disappear or this will be, like, up for an Oscar in a year. Who knows? So it's worth pointing out.
I agree. The premise has a lot of potential. Like, just going ahead and doing a movie where the rich guy just starts killing people in public instead of in secret.
Right.
And humorously and darkly exploring what that means. That's a really good idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
and
I think little American Psycho to it as well with that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
I wonder, it's funny because it's one of those premises that I'm like, are we going to get sick of this at some point? You're right. American Psycho is also very much that. And it's very much I
think we could, because it could, it could
very easily. Infinity Pool as well.
I still haven't seen Infinity Pool, but what I was thinking is I think we could get sick of it, because I think I agree with what you were saying. A lot of this depends on execution. Because this could very easily become like Don't Look Up.
Yeah,
it's like, yes, we know rich people get away with anything. They get away with literal murder a lot of the time.
Right, we get it, and it feels like they're just throwing that to the crowd because they know the crowd loves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are creative ways. Yeah, I'm wondering it because it's like, we've been doing this since for 20 years or more. Like, there are stories about this, so it's like we clearly don't get that sick of it. It's just about finding new ways.
Yeah.
Infinity Pool, Tom, you should watch Infinity Pool. It's very much about the idea that if you're rich, there's no such thing as like a crime, basically. Like, it's very similar, less on the nose than this, but people should check this out. It looks interesting. Hopefully there'll be more to say about it in the future.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
Cool. I think that's a sewed.
Woo.
We've done it.
Woo.
We've done it. That's that 2024 energy. The polite woos.
Everybody close your eyes and just go woo.
Very polite. Don't wake the kids. Don't wake the cats.
Yeah, polite ghost.
Very polite. A politely enthusiastic ghost.
Yeah.
It sounds like one member of a little choir, It's nice. Yeah.
You're cheering on like a football team made up of ants, like, way, go woo, go little guys.
You guys are doing so well.
I don't want to scare you. I don't want to be too loud.
Alex, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Would you like to plug some stuff once more at the end here?
Secretly Incredibly Fascinating podcast. And then Alex Schmidtstagram on Instagram and Alex Schmitty on TikTok for fun videos.
Check it out. I'll plug our Patreon. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. GAMEFULLY unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. We're gonna watch Orphan Horse one of these nights.
And Air Force One down.
Yeah.
So be there when it happens.
Yeah, you're gonna want to be there.
You want to be in the room where it happens.
Miss that's history.
We also have a store at gamefullyunemployed.com. We have a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, posters, stickers, all sorts of things. So check that out. Slap your Orphan Horse peepers onto that.
Your OHs.
Yep.
Oh,
Get them OHs on there.
Yeah.
All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, Corlew, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.